I'm delighted to have with me Dr. Darren Smith. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
And we're so happy that you're going to be able to participate in our upcoming Cambridge Health Alliance Harvard Medical School conference about psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy. Could you share with us a little bit about what you'll be sharing with us at the conference?
Absolutely. I'll be talking about the importance of making sure that we have BIPOC participation in psychedelic assisted therapy, as well as research, as well as industry, as well as teaching, mentoring, fellowship, you name it. What we're trying to accomplish with this particular movement that's different from perhaps, let's say, cannabis, is to make this a much more inclusive industry, particularly those who have been most affected by the war on drugs.
Yeah, and historically, still, while psychedelics have such strong roots in various indigenous communities, in terms of the current renaissance, if you will, it's been fairly white, hasn't it?
It has been. In fact, I'm glad you asked that question, Ron. Actually, about 82% of the studies that have been done to date using psychedelic compounds are white participants. And here's something else that's really striking. Half of those individuals make over $100,000 a year. The representation of folks of color with the studies that have been done really don't tell us much about how these substances work with communities of color.
And when we look at the burden of trauma, including things like racial trauma and the trauma of marginalization, it's precisely the populations you're hoping to reach that probably could benefit the most from these medicines if indeed they turn out to be useful for them.
We have long tentacles in different cities across the country. And one of the things that we hope to accomplish with this discussion is to enlist help of researchers who are looking for communities of color that they can include in their research studies. And this is, of course, consistent with the FDA's call that all research be inclusive, and they have a blueprint laid out on what that looks like. But if people need numbers, individuals to participate in these research studies, and all they need to do is just ask.
And I'm thinking for clinicians that are going to attend the conference, what might they learn about using these medicines for clients who may be people of color?
Before LPCs and other therapists work with communities of color, they first need to be experienced with those communities, because there's certainly a dearth of therapists who are doing work with psychedelics, and that those that we do have currently will be overburdened, particularly when MDMA is available. So one of the things that we're going to have to do is train white therapists to be more sensitive to the feelings and needs of their brown and black folks who may show up on their doorstep. And part of that I think is emphasizing the need for cultural humility.
We're so glad that you're going to join us. You're coming all the way from Washington State, and really appreciate the effort you're putting in to be part of this. And thank you so much for sharing this little window into what you'll be contributing to the conference.
Thank you very much for having me.